probably crossed over. Oh yeah?
We'll just have them towed out to Wood Island.
You have a special thing?
Yeah.
This is fancy.
Hi, where were you?
Ryan Burnett was looking for you.
Oh, he was? Okay.
Yes, I don't know what class he's in, but if I see him on
Sit down. The library is up that set of stairs right there to the left.
Just both?
The one in Dan's barn.
And to row this thing around, so you guys all rowed, you guys all use those.
Yes.
What are these called? Oarlocks, yep. Technically, they're oarlock horns, but pretty simple. You know how it works, right? This guy, what's it made of?
Yes. Copper. Brass. Steel. Copper.
Getting closer.
Copper.
Bronze.
What?
Silver.
Third place in the Olympics.
Attaboy. He said bronze.
Attaboy. Bronze is super expensive. Doesn't float. So these probably cost, I think, each to cast. I won't tell you because then there'll be a little market in the school for those. It'll all disappear. This is your traditional oarlock, right? Thole pin. Floats, cheap to produce, and you can basically whittle down almost anything and make one. This is a much more elegant form. So these will go in the rail, just like so. Two of them side by each, and you put your oar in there, and that's how you row. Normally I would turn this on a lathe, but the school doesn't have a lathe. It does have a bunch of people that want to learn how to use tools. So I'll go through the process of making those with a number of you, because I got a whole bucket full. I got up early this morning to make these for all y'all. So this will involve some bandsaw. This will involve some a lot of cleaning and some sandpaper, but it's going to be a lot of chip making. So I can do this with probably 5 or 6 of you. You want to try to tackle some paint? Maybe 3 or 4 over there paint.
I need at least 2, maybe 3 to work on the oars.
2, maybe 3 for oars.
I'm Susan Johnson. I'm the experiential learning coordinator here at Trape Academy. Trape Academy, we have a policy where students can pursue passion projects, pursue internships, online classes, early college classes. So I help to create those experiences for students. It was the case, where we're perfectly situated here on the back channel. Community members over the years said, Susan, why aren't kids out on that waterfront? Why aren't we? What can you create for students? Sam Reed was working on the Wood Island Life Saving Station Restoration Program. And so Sam and I got together and said, well, there's a community member, a generous community member. Let's apply and ask for a boat building, a grant to support a partnership with Wood Island, Lowell's, and Trape Academy. The original model was that I would drive a van with 5 or 6 students down to Lowell's. We weren't exactly sure how it was going to go, but we got the funding and we all agreed we were going to make it happen, and then COVID happened. So it was suspended for that school year. Following the school year, we came back in a hybrid mode. Finally, by April, everybody was suffocating under the weight of online learning, and everyone was talking about experiential learning, finally. And so I texted Graham and Sam and said, I have this classroom, I have a garage door, we can socially distance, let's do it here. And Graham said, let's do it. Then it was really in earnest the following school year where we were able to build our first replica U.S. life-saving Surfman Dory, the 19-foot. last year, as we were finishing up the second boat, we needed more stuff for kids to do. In a separate class called Changemakers, I've been with a science teacher and a community member who's an aquaculturalist. We worked on looking at the lobster industry and the demise with climate change, or challenges with climate change, and looked at the alternatives of kelp farming and how that's a viable opportunity for lobster people here on the coast of Maine. So we've spored our own, we grew our own, and we have a kelp platform out here. I'm working with the Department of Marine Resources so we can actually have our own little kelp farm. So that's coming next. In addition to perhaps being a five trapper, having some lobster pots out there. But we needed more work for kids to do. So Graham said, well, let's do a Banks Dory. That's a traditional working boat. It goes up pretty quickly. So we are now about to finish our third boat, the Banks Dory, to help with our kelp farming. Each of the life-saving dories, there are 3 stations for rowing, and then there's the steering oar, which this has to be varnished again. But the kids, as you can see, they're taking blocks of wood. They're using the bandsaw right now to start to shape. But the oars themselves begin from 2x4s that are glued together, and Peter Stockless is our lead on the oar making. But they go from, these blocks of wood, there's a pattern there, to these, beautiful pieces, beautiful oars that the kids were using. So again, going from a block of wood to actually being able to create what could arguably be called a work of art, right? To then going out and using the oars and learning how to row, learning how to be a team, rowing together. Pete Cathy, our librarian, is a rowing coach, so he's brought that expertise to class, which has been nice. So yeah, again, it's evolving in different ways, so that we didn't anticipate. So yeah. The other cool thing that happened last year with Changemakers, I've got into another sort of great network of women. We grew these mycelium lobster buoys. Yeah. Use this sisal material. So this is what we are going to deploy our kelp lines from, and have them winter over and have the kelp growing on the... Hi! We have more visitors. So yeah, so this is, an alternative to the polystyrene lobster buoys. So that's what these are. We did, some sun printing. I mean, who knew you could have so much fun with seaweed, right? These are kelp pots. Caroline Reese. This was her project last year, was to do an alternative to plastic starter pots. So we looked at kelp, tested how they could hold water, put some seeds in them, so the idea is that these could go right in. Other students did a kelp-based sunscreen. There were sort of 2 iterations of that. A student was coming up with an Irish moss salve for her grandmother's eczema as an alternative, so that kids The idea, they were, experimenting with the kelp to come up with innovative ideas, innovative and entrepreneurial ideas, and then participate in an idea competition for high school students at UNH. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff. It's all evolving. Yeah.